and regulators. And Didi's decision to exit the US stock market follows an announcement by the SEC that they can delist foreign companies for failing to provide information to auditors.
The Mexican Senate has approved the appointment of a close ally of President Andrés Manuel López Obrador to head the Bank of Mexico. Concerns have been raised about Victoria Rodriguez Ceja's close links with the president, but she's promised not to compromise the Bank of Mexico's independence. One of Brazil's most popular football clubs, Atlético Mineiro, has announced a unique way of celebrating its first league title in 50 years. The club says it'll give free tattoos on Monday to fans who turn up at the site where its new stadium's being built. The scheme will be funded by Atletico's sponsors. BBC News.
Thank you for that news. Welcome to Newsday on the BBC World Service with Bola Mosru and James Cocknell. Pope Francis is in Cyprus, where he's been highlighting the plight of those seeking asylum or refuge. He's also been urging dialogue in the divided island. We'll head there shortly. We'll also have a special interview with the former president of Afghanistan, who's urging girls to go to school despite the ban by the Taliban. And Steven Spielberg's fan.
Well, the British entrepreneur Ed Beckel is a co-founder of Glorify, and he joins me now. Ed, very good morning to you. What gave you the idea?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's been the craziest time of my life, and I'm just constantly pinching myself. I think the idea originally came from my co-founder Henry. I think several years ago, looking at this advent of Calm and Headspace, seeing those amazing meditation apps and the undeniable value in them, and really seeing there was no faith-based version. Although, I think to look at what we've built as Glorify as that is definitely superficial.
So what do you charge subscribers, and what do they get for their money?
Well, there's an amazing free version, and that's always something that we'll have. I think our motto has always been every Christian every day, and so we never want to stop people having access. For many in the US, it's just $60-ish a year. We're trying to make it with less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks a month, and then across Latin America and Brazil, it's more like $25-30 a year.
And what do they get for that?
We get access to our daily worship, which is sort of the cornerstone of the app. It really built to build habit. I think we've always looked at faith as this muscle, and there's no better way to enable building habit than through technology. And that daily worship is what really gets that consistency going and keeps people coming in.
Is this
but in terms of what you get inside with paid is premium content inside of that listen tab, along with being able to listen to reflection meditations inside that daily worship.
So, Ed, are you targeting people then that perhaps who might be too busy during the course of their working day to get into church?
Yeah, we've got a huge vision. We never want to replace the church or anything like that. It's always going to act as a supplement. But again, so much of where the ideas even come for in the drive to create it over the pandemic is seeing how disconnected people are. It's all spending so much time at home, and it's hard to really stop, think, and feel. And in trying to build the habit of connecting in with God every day, you're also really connecting in with yourself just for 10 minutes. And I think it's been a lot of fun, because the idea of having a lot of these high profile celebrity investors and so on is how we build this real cultural movement around faith, believing in God not just being something that's okay, but something that's actually really incredible and can change your life. And so I'm hoping really, and we're seeing it now, the app's becoming this amazing medium that's catalyzing this shift.
And you mentioned you have a lot of celebrity investors. How did they come on board?
Yeah, it's been so strange, but so amazing. Me and my dad would always listen to Michael Bublé in the car, and next thing I know, I'm at a dinner in LA with the Kardashians and all sorts of people. I must have been, I think, the only A-lister the only non-A-lister at the dinner party, and I just really got talking to everyone, and It's remarkable how many people of a high profile have a faith, but don't really have a medium online where they're proud to talk about it through. And for so many of these people, I mean, what you see in the press release and what's in the news now is just the tip of the iceberg. And over the next year, we're going to be releasing, all sorts of names and people actually posting on social media. That's just going to, is mind blowing in itself already, but it's just going to get more and more.
Very interesting. Now, look, after this fundraising, I mean, it's put a valuation on the business that makes your shareholding worth tens of millions of pounds. Now, it's only a paper fortune. You can't go out and spend it. But people often talk about sort of God and mammon. Do you feel at all uncomfortable with the sort of wealth that potentially this has put your way?
Honestly, I try not to think about it too much. My mum's always said that it's not real until it's in the bank. And I think with Glorify, it's about so much more than earning money. I think when you're this isn't my first business, and when you're really young and doing interesting things and earning more money than your peers, I think it's hard not to get pretty philosophical around how you spend your time and what you do. And my co-founder Henry and I think we make such great co-founders because our values are one and the same, and we both only want to work on things we're truly proud of. And never been more proud of anything in my life than what we've built here in this company. But the money, it's not really real, and it's more of a amazing kind of recognition in terms of a number with valuation and so on that shows how much people believe in us and the sort of scale that we can have in this business. And that being the goal is to just get this into the hands of every Christian, even those that may well just go to church on Christmas every year, and helping them connect in every day.
All right, Ed. Good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much indeed for joining me. Hope to see you again in future.
You too. Thank you.
Well, despite selling off yesterday on news that the OPEC Plus grouping is set to raise crude production, the oil price has slightly recovered this morning. A barrel of Brent crude is currently trading at $71.38 a barrel. That's up a little under 2.5%. On the equity markets, after a solid close on Wall Street last night, in which both the S&P 500 and Dow Jones more than recouped Wednesday's losses, there was mixed trading overnight in the Asia-Pacific region. Tokyo, which has had a few choppy weeks, rose by 1%, while there were also gains in Sydney and in Shanghai. Hong Kong was more or less unchanged. Mumbai, I can tell you right now, is trading to the downside. Well, in Europe, markets have been trading to the upside since the open a couple of hours ago or so. Here's the current picture. Actually, the CAC 40 and the DAX in Germany, both in negative territory right now. Talking points include the German insurance giant Allianz. Its shares are up 1.5% in Frankfurt. That's after it promised to raise dividends by 5% a year. Here in London, the FTSE 100, well, look at that, it's more or less unchanged. It's a point to the good there. It would actually be in negative territory were it not gains for the oil heavyweights BP and Royal Dutch Shell. Other blue chip gainers to mention include Prudential. Its shares have had been under a bit of a cloud recently, to be honest with you, but it looks to be attracting a few bargain hunters this morning. They're up by 1.5% or so. Outside the FTSE, Auction Technology Group is up nearly 3%. You might recall we had the chief executive on the programme yesterday talking about the company's results, while the industrial equipment maker Rotork, its shares are ahead by 4%. It's had a push from one of the brokers this morning. On the foreign exchange markets, the US dollar is trading to the upside ahead of the US non-farm payrolls data this lunchtime. Accordingly, sterling is off by 1/5% against the greenback. It's off by a similar amount right now against the euro. Well, joining me now is the investment director at Fidelity International, Catherine Young. Catherine, very good morning to you. Or good afternoon, I should say, where you are. Now, look, we've got to start with Didi. Got to ask you about that. Delisting from New York Stock Exchange after only 6 months and relisting in Hong Kong. I mean, this has been a really salutary warning to people tempted to invest in Chinese tech stocks.
Yes, but it isn't a new trend in terms of the Chinese companies either doing a dual listing or doing their initial public offerings in this part of the world, so Hong Kong or indeed mainland China. And when we look at Didi coming back to Hong Kong, don't forget that the investor base is really gaining quite a lot of momentum or demand, I should say, from, again, China. So we've gone into like 30 consecutive trading days where turnover, when we look at China, has been over 1 trillion RMB. So definitely the demand is here. The rationale, obviously, about security data as well as regulatory changes or regulatory requirements not being able to be met by Didi is one of the reasons why the company is coming back.
Now, Catherine, this is the first chance we've had to chat since the Omicron variant was uncovered. How is it affecting investments thinking in the Asia-Pacific region?
Well, it's been nearly 2 years since we've been
As for Starr,
focusing
R for
on
radio,
three key
this promo
drivers
code
of
will give you
Walmart, in fact, not
£5
just
free
China.
credit to
And that is
send
really
to
the
Africa
flattening of the
on
COVID
your first
curve,
transaction.
the pace of economic
Your money will be
recovery and
delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Hole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Star Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it is
The coolest way to start your weekend.
I want to say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Another Friday and another opportunity to give thanks and praise to the Almighty God and share what is going on around the world with you. I am Archie from now till 1 o'clock. I'm going to be your captain, and I'm going to make sure we get to our destination in peace, not pieces. Playing in the background, a tune by Diana Hamilton. Saying you watch over me, he watches over you, God watches over us. So I want to take this opportunity to say, welcome on board wherever you find yourself. Bringing the time now to 10:44 from the heart of London. Of course, it is the Friday edition of the morning show. And as we say here on Star Radio UK, it is always I'm saying morning to my colleagues, Kojo D, Mr. Dan Tabiri, Felix, and the able producer himself, Mr. Francis Guy. Massive good morning to you, gentlemen. And those on the other side, Mr. Frank Davids, massive good morning to you and to the family. You know, today is a tough day, but hey, thank God the old man is in the bosom of the Father a year on, and God has been faithful, hasn't he? And a special good morning also goes to Mr. Olayomi Koiki on the other part of the world as well. Massive good morning to you all, and welcome on board. To our wonderful listeners, those of you in the US, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia and on the African continent, I salute you all. Especially those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa, Uganda, and of course across the globe. Tassino, massive good morning to you. A special good morning to Sheena Yusuf as well. Hello Sheena, I hope you are doing very well. And the top of the weekend to you. Well, we say it all the time, your weekend start from here on Star Radio UK. Let's crack on. Now, if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us, this is how the program will go for you today. I'm going to bring you the quotes for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit. Then the travel update will follow from there. We'll have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. And then, exactly at 11 o'clock, I'll bring you updates from Nigeria. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds. We'll continue from there exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. But before then, if you want to post your comments, do so. Post it on our Facebook page, or you can text or WhatsApp it to us 0753966144. But again, we'll continue from there, and then we'll go to 12:30 when we have our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, joining in to bring you the money hour. Well, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Welcome on board. Get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. Get yourself seated. If you're standing, hold on to something. Sit very comfortably. Yes, at times it gets bumpy, but hey, be rest assured. Arrival at your destination is secure. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Good morning to Reverend Michael Esiama and the team there on the Power Hour. This morning was another smasher of a program there. Oh, to Chris as well. Elite, I say massive good morning to you. Chris of Gabby Days. Good morning. Alright then, let's crack on. So, the quote for the day says, there is a lot of competition out there. If you don't work as a team, the competition will win. But if you learn to work together, you will win together and be able to enjoy the rewards of victory together. So what about that? That's why some people clamor for unity, whilst others clamor for division. But when the unity doesn't seem to be working, they may maybe subdividing the whole thing into subsets might work, because as a subset, maybe you be able to gel together. So what about that? Well, so you see, I've covered both sides. Nobody can criticize me. It is already, you got Archie, of course. So, straight on, moving on to the weather front. What is happening on the weather front here in the UK and over the weekend? Let me tell you what is going to happen exactly. With the time now exactly at 10:48. My apologies. Now this afternoon it will be largely dull and cloudy with very little in the way of brightness, a milder day than of late with a gentle winds. And tonight spells of rain will move in from the west. These will soon clear to cloud skies and odd lingering spot of rain. A few mist and fog patches may develop towards dawn. The total temperature is going to be 10 degrees, the lowest is going to be 5 degrees. A bit milder, as I said earlier on. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low as well. Sunset 15:54 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:46 hours. Let me clear my voice. I might need a hot drink or a cold drink, whichever is appropriate. Alright, let me tell you about the weekend weather as well. Now tomorrow morning we'll see spells of rain. This will clear for the afternoon, leaving a mixture of sunny spells and the odd scattered showers for the rest of the day, becoming breezier. With temperatures expected to be in the range of 8 and the lowest 3. Now come Sunday, cloudy, and it's going to be tops 7 and the lowest 3. But it's going to be sunny. Sunday looks to be a drier day with sunny spells and variable cloud cover. Western on Monday. Okay, so in the gist, that is what is going to happen over the weekend for you when it comes to the weather front. It is All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me take you straight to the travel update as well. Don't you worry, the song playing in the background. Make sure that you listen to the whole version of it in the course of the program. But stay tuned. Let me take you straight to the travels. Keep your eyes on the roads.
Check it out.
This is Starr Radio UK.
So keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:50. Yeah, so what is happening on your travels this morning? Apart from the Northern Line that has got severe delays due to an earlier track fault at Collier's Wood, tickets will be accepted on London buses and London trams. All the others have got good service. TFL Rail, DLR, London Overground, London Tramlink, good service there as well. Now moving on straight to the river bar this morning, apart from the Woolwich Ferry that's got special service, all the others have got good service. You got it. Okay, now let's move on to the National Rail. On the National Rail, Avanti West Coast has got minor delays, cross country, severe delays, East Midlands, special service, Northern Rail, special service, Southern, special service, Transport to Wales, special service there as well. But keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep it navigated, I promise. Our bond, the Starr Radio travel update comes to every weekday from 10:40. Now moving on to the final segment of the travel update, that's major roads in London. Well, those of you traveling from the Pearly Way, crossing to the Dappers Hill to Croydon. Oh my. There was a big truck ahead of us and it caused so much traffic, made me late. But hey, listen to us. A4 has got closures, Central London Red Route closures, A20 serious delays. That aside, all the others, no exceptional delays. You can zoom through it like no man's business. But on that note, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Well, that tells you the season that we find ourselves in. Somebody say, it's Christmas! I said that the other time. One of my little girls said, it's not Christmas yet. I said, well, we are in the season. So wherever you are, welcome once again to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, it's now time for Global Trotting. Let me tell you what's happening from across the globe. In the UK front, Pfizer and Moderna gives best overall boost trial. Says now researchers say there are signs the booster will still offer protection against new variant Omicron. So in the UK front, army have been called in after a week without power. Troops will arrive in Durham later as thousands remain without electricity a week after Storm Owen. Well, ticketless drinking and dragged up thugs could have caused death at the Euro 2020 finals as they attempted to storm the Wembley Stadium, says an independent review. And then the Tories hold old Bexley and Sidcup in by-election. The Southeast London election was prompted by the death of former MP James Brokenshire. Well, they want to own a shop, a massive one. Well, Selfridges is being sold for $4 billion. The retail giant has said the billionaire Weston family are close to selling the famous luxury store chain to Central Group. Well, so Central might get that. Well, 7 people have been found inside a refrigerator lorry on M1. Police say they are fit and well and have been taken into custody. So it's all Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to other stories making the rounds across the globe, U.S. tightens travel rules amid new Omicron cases. The U.S. winter plan includes millions of free tests and strict rules for international passengers. The U.S. government shut down vetted hours before deadline. The U.S. Congress passes a bill to fund federal agencies until 18th of February, avoiding a costly shutdown. Every year, I think so. They always seem to be having that particular problem where they cannot agree on stuff and therefore they have to shut it down. But well, it's been averted. We hope that by the 18th of February, it will all be sorted and they wouldn't go in there. Well, Staffer says he was told not to look Epstein in eye. A former housekeeper said Ghislaine Maxwell acted as lady of the house at Jeffrey Epstein's U.S. home. The Golden says his career may be over after shooting, but the 63-year-old U.S. actor says he did not pull the trigger on the set of the Rust film in October. So how did he fire then? In the eastern part of Africa, drought. We are at risk of dying. At least 26 million people are struggling for food across northern Kenya, Somalia, and southern Ethiopia. Since Bible times, they've been having that particular problem there, you know? Oh, man. Well, more details going to be coming your way from there, but wherever you are, don't you go away. Now, police have arrested a pastor others for abduction of an Imo Catholic priest. The Nigerian Navy releases detained comedian killed Abiola. Appeal court overturns judgment on Prophet Tabiri. More of that coming your way from Nigeria in the next moment as well. African continent still, Gambia campaigns ends ahead of Saturday's presidential election. We'll be looking into that. But it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Moving on straight to Ghana as well. Marriage is not an achievement. Not everyone can marry. Wangam says. Is that true or false? Somebody say everybody can get married. But how can you maintain it? That is the question. Okay, farmers are the heart of Ghanaians' dream before on Farmers' Day. Today marks Farmers' Day. One thing, one project, or one legacy of the former president or the late Jerry John Rawlings, where a date was set aside to commemorate or celebrate our farmers. But just saying that, celebrating them on a day, one day, and just looking at that, do you think that goes far enough? Because my question here, once again, is when it comes to this part of the world, you see that subvention funds come in for farmers. Government substitute whatever thing that they are doing. So assuming they don't have a bumper harvest, government comes in to substitute. So they are there on the ground, on the fields, doing the work, making sure they still produce. But it's a case where even we don't have mechanized farming that much, so people are still using that old tool, hoe and a cutlass. And how much can somebody cultivate? How much of land can somebody cultivate the land using this particular tool? Well, we'll be talking about that. If farming is at the heart of the Ghanaian dream, then government might have to step up, making sure that they help them in mechanized farming and making sure there are lands for them, there are irrigation systems around, so that we know that we can actually, eat what we are growing. Well, budget 2022 budget. Parliament set up 20-man team to deal with umpires. But the situation is that the minority in Parliament are saying that, or the leader of the minority is saying that, well, if the e-levy comes to one Ghana city, then they are going to. But is that what voters are saying? But other people, other school of thought is, okay, if we decide that we don't want to take that levy from there, where can we get the money to subsidize the budget or fund the budget or development and everything that we are doing? We're going to be looking into that story the more. And then Captain Smart's arrest, bad example of intolerance, media general is saying. Media general has described as unfortunate and bad for media freedom the arrest of one of its broadcast journalists, Blessing Gosbrain Smart, also known as Captain Smart. According to Media General, they believe the statements made by Smart should not be one that should be interpreted in the manner that the police did to warrant the arrest of the journalist. The company also expressed grave concern on what they say is an increasingly new trend of arrest of journalists and media practitioners in the country by the police. Well, it is all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Will prosecute road contractors, persons who destroy telecoms infrastructure, Ursula Owusu is saying. Well, after his release, Captain Smart vows to stand up for his nation. Local media personality, bless God's brain, Smart, popularly called Captain Smart, has reiterated his resolve to criticize the government and leadership of the country, including the parliamentarians, on policies and actions of theirs which oppress citizens regardless of the consequences. Have we got a voice now as well who's going to be signing up for the ordinary citizens? Well, this and a lot more going to be coming your way. 2 minutes past the top of the hour. I want you to enjoy the full run of the song, and I'll come back with you with updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned, don't you go away. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, the Friday edition of the morning show.
this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 12 minutes past 11. So 11:12. I was going to say 12:11, 11:12. Okay, wherever you are, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. I am Archie, and from now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain, going to be in with you. So wherever you are, don't you go away. It is now time for me to bring you updates from Nigeria. Okay. So now let's crack on. Interestingly, let me bring you one story that we did touch on yesterday before during the update from Nigeria, and that pertains to Nnamdi Kanu's case that was adjourned to 18th or is it the 17th of January. Now, a federal high court in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, has ordered the security police to ensure that separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu gets maximum comfort while in their custody on treason and other charges. The order followed a complaint by his lawyers during a pre-trial hearing today that was yesterday, that their client was not allowed to change clothes or even practice his religion. The emergency hearing followed arguments by his lawyers that the earlier adjournment of the case was against that his right to a speedy trial. Mr. Kanu was not brought to court. That was yesterday. He heads the indigenous people of Biafra group, and that's IPOP, which has been agitating for the cessation of southeastern Nigeria. The trial has been adjourned to the 18th of January next year. Recently, some leaders from the southeastern Nigeria approached President Muhammadu Buhari to request that Mr. Kanu be freed. In response, the president said it was a difficult request, but he will give it some consideration. The last time he was freed, Mr. Kanu jumped bail after accusing the Nigerian army of attempting to kill him. He was rearrested in June after being repatriated from an undisclosed country. His lawyers and family members allege he was detained and mistreated in Kenya before being taken to Nigeria through Kenya, though Kenya has denied involvement in that. So maybe they did it at the blind side of the Kenyans. But what do you think about that? That's some of the stories coming your way. Well, he's not being allowed to even change his clothing. Oh my goodness. Africa. Well, powerful Nigerians are frustrating AMCON's recovery of 4.4 trillion naira debt. The Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions has lamented that highly placed Nigerians were frustrating the efforts. So the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions has lamented that highly placed Nigerians were frustrating the efforts of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, to recover 4.4 trillion naira owed the agency. The committee's chairman, Senator Uba Sani, APC Kaduna, said this at a stakeholders meeting on consolidating the effectiveness of the assets recovery model adopted by AMCON at Zuma Rock Resort, Niger State. He said from the 4.4 trillion, we are trying to recover about 350 people in this country are responsible. This is about 83% of the debt. So 350 people are owing to the tune of 4.4 trillion naira. This is very worrisome. This means that powerful Nigerians are the ones not willing to pay these loans. Now, they have been employing different strategies and tactics to stall the repayment of loans running into trillions of naira. A lot of highly placed Nigerians are not willing to support AMCON because most of those people are the ones that have taken this money from the banks, and of course, the government came in to set up AMCON to save banks from getting down. But unfortunately, from what is happening, AMCON is finding it very difficult because those people are highly placed Nigerians. They try to frustrate AMCON's effort through judiciary, and that is what we are looking at in the court, is said. The lawmaker, however, assured that the Red Chamber will support AMCON to recover the 4.4 trillion naira debt. The agency managing director Ahmed Lawan Kuru said the recent amendment to AMCON Act will further enhance the corporation's recovery powers in many aspects. He said that the corporation has so far recovered over 1.4 trillion naira, which comprise of 665 billion naira in cash, property forfeiture, that's 278 billion, disposed assets 141 billion, share forfeiture 139 billion, and other strategic assets 207 billion naira. Now, Kuru, however, said that the slow pace of court processes and sometimes conflicting orders by the court frustrated recovery process. He therefore said the judiciary must be encouraged to respect provisions of the law that require it to fast-track cases and issue certificates of judgment on property. Meanwhile, Managing Director of Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, Mr. Bello Hassan, said government was keen to provide confidence in the financial system. This, he said, was by putting in place financial safety net to promote financial system stability and support economic growth and development. He said the NDIC has taken important steps at ensuring safety of the Nigerian banks and protection of depositors in line with its mandate. The corporation had commenced supervisory measures for digital banks as well as the enhancement of existing consumer protection measures, especially as regards digital deposits, through enhanced collaboration with other safety net players. Well, so that is what is coming your way from Nigeria this morning. Well, all the time, that's what happens. Those top hooks, those who have got the financial muscles, they are the ones who frustrate things, because if they enact the law or they push or give the full support, it comes back to bite them. So they will do everything in their power to stop that. Okay, let me say good morning to Mr. Frank Davis as well. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. And let me say good morning to Vicky Newton. Hey, yeah, she's going to be pretty soon mayor of Croydon, and then become the mayor of London, and then she might be our MP. Yes. Which party will you support, Vicky? All right, let me say good morning to you and have a wonderful weekend from there as well. Okay, the Lagos State government official reporter is also putting this story across. Governor Sanwo-Olu has called for moral revival among citizens to promote peace and security. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has called for a moral revival among citizens to promote peace and security necessary for the progress and development of the nation. The governor made the call at the Y2021 Interfaith Party held today in Lagos, stating that it is pertinent to ensure that youth are not misled into towing the wrong path, just as parents must pay close attention to the morality of their children and words. That's only represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, at the party, said the erosion of moral values in the society has become a source of concern to citizens and government across the country. Now, while commending the religious leaders for their continuous support, the governor admonished the clergy to relentlessly preach love and peace among people and also develop a tolerance for others irrespective of their differences. All right then. He reassured the religious leaders of his administration's commitment to responsive and responsible governance that will continuously create an enabling environment for peaceful coexistence amongst various faiths and worships centers. Okay, commenting on the tribunal report of the NSAS, the governor urged Nigerians to familiarize themselves with the government's white paper, adding that rather than peddling falsehood, comments should be made on the basis of the right information. So has the white paper been released? Yes. He stressed that issues of peaceful coexistence should be accorded priority in their daily teachings, saying your weekly sermon on unity, peace and love must resonate with the people on a weekly basis, while obedience to rule of law and commitment to our Lagos project must remain sacrosanct. Now, the commissioner also implored the religious leaders to have a more robust relationship to consolidate the gains of collectiveness, stressing that the Sonolu led administration expects clergymen to close ranks and check the excesses of exuberant preachers who find it convenient to create enmity among the people. Well, so if somebody is criticizing government, is that what they are trying to say or they're trying to do? No, somebody will tell you no. But interestingly, the police have arrested a pastor who abducted a Catholic priest in Nigeria. So that makes the whole thing. So I was looking at it and I was asking myself, is it why this the governor of Lagos State said that? Now, police have arrested one pastor, Chuku Nolaba, and 12 others over the abduction of a Catholic priest and 13 other residents in Imo State. Nolaba, the Apostolic Church of Christ in Eziama, Osuama, in Isiala, Mbano local government area, was alleged to be involved in the kidnap of Reverend Father Fidelis Ekemba, in charge of St. Peter's Catholic Parish, Monohu, Mokohia, in the Ubama LGA of the state. Now, Commissioner of Police in Imo, Rabiu Husseini, paraded a suspect alongside 16 others arrested for various crimes at the police command headquarters in Owerri. In the court, he said, it will interest you all to know that a total of 29 suspects were arrested in the commission of different crimes, especially kidnapping and armed robbery, while a total of 13 firearms, 89 ammunition of different calibers, and 9 vehicles of different types were recovered, he told reporters during the briefing yesterday. Now, he goes on further to say Hussein listed the other suspects accused of the crime allegedly committed by the Anoloba to include Chukwuwa Onwe. Well, the names are all there for you if you bother to know. He said, you will observe that recently the state has enjoyed relative peace owing to the crime fighting strategy, but in place by the put in place by the command and in keeping with the promise to rid Imo State of crime and criminality during his maiden press briefing, the police commissioner said. The command under my watch is enjoying a robust partnership and synergy with other security agencies and community stakeholders in the state. However, we have refused to rest on our oars, as the rewards of hard work, they say, is more hard work. Well, if that hard work will give them that peace and tranquility that they need, well, why not bring it on? But my worry here has been the issue of a priest abducting another priest. Oh, interesting. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, I've got a couple of stories that I'm going to bring your way. Don't you go away. It's quite interesting. All coming from Nigeria, you know. One pertaining to a father who has dragged the child or the son to the court, saying that you owe me, you have to pay me a percentage of your salary or your income. Okay, why? Is it because we say that, when your parents take care of you, for you to grow your teeth, you also have to take care of them for them to have while their teeth is falling out? Is that what we're trying to say here? But a breaking story coming through: terrorists have killed 2 kidnapped squads in Kaduna. It's breaking story coming through: 2 people have been killed in and no fewer than 50 reportedly kidnapped when bandits known locally as terrorists attacked Nguwan Gimbi community in Kaduna State. Information coming through about 13 families were said to have been attacked by the bandits who raided for about 2 hours, raining bullets. The Kaduna State in northwest Nigeria has experienced a near tripling of violent incidents, involving armed groups in the past year. The state security crisis revolves around 3 different but overlapping threats. The first relates to the farmer-herders conflict that involves growing tension over access to land and its use between communities. The second threat comes from armed gangs engaged in criminal activities, including kidnapping for ransom, arms dealing, and cattle rustling, and highway robbery. The final threat is from the violent extremism. This threat re-emerged in 2020 when Ansaru, a militant Islamist group thought to be defunct, carried out an elaborate ambush followed by a series of other attacks. So, I mean, when it comes to Kaduna, I think they have a problem. They have a problem there, and I hope that the state apparatus will see to help them on that front to resolve that issue. But it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11:28 the time. Updates from Nigeria. The final story. A 73-year-old Kenyan man has taken his son to court over a demand for monthly maintenance money. The aged father, identified as Gideon Kisira Chirowo, demanded that his 48-year-old son, Washington Chekpome Chirowo, give him 20% of his monthly income. Gideon told the Kitale High Court that his son has abandoned him and refused to send him any money despite the fact that he is working. He went ahead to reveal that things were presently difficult for him and his wife, while also explaining that Washington is the only one employed out of his 4 children. So can you just imagine the responsibility, the weight that this boy or this Washington man has to carry? So that is a difficult one. But it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break, and once we come back, we'll continue with the show. But don't you go away. Yes. It's all going to be happening live. Tomorrow, I'm going to bring some announcements and some other programs that is going to be taking place tomorrow pertaining to BB Clement on how to make wealth, how to create wealth. Not you leaving your jobs that you are in. No. You don't have to do that at all. Be in the job, be in whatever thing that you're doing, yet make extra income from there. Stay tuned, don't you go away. Enjoy this song from the Nigeria Armed Forces. It's a Christmas tune. Enjoy.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in the UK.
We wish you Merry Christmas. Safer road full of lives. Federal road safety comes so.
The civil defense, we are wishing you very Merry Christmas. With God on our side, we'll defend the defenseless. Joy to the whole world. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospera felicidad. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of our heart. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smart broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Only the best music.
All of them people, them are eat and dance, we celebrate. Hey, Jesus Christ, who rose from the dead from the Calvary. Same grace, we sharing every day. 2,000 years ago, he did his life, same grace. Whom have we carrying all along? Thank you, Jehovah, for the work of the cross.
We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of our heart.
On behalf of the military and the paramilitary agencies, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Police, Nigerian Prison Service, the Nigerian Immigration Service, the Directorate of State Security, NDLEA, the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Fire Service. We wish you Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year. Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go.
We are a
Make sure you
UK-based
use the
online
promo code
e-commerce.
SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit
Gabby
to
Dave
send to
Global.
Africa on your
We
first
are a
transaction.
UK-based
Your money
online
will be delivered to your
e-commerce
recipient within
the first of its
seconds.
kind
Feel
with
free to call me
license to
on
trade in
0749
African
7377 647
products
at
are
any
clothing
time.
brands
I'll be happy
and
to tell you
all
all about
beauty
SendWave and help you in
hair
any way I
beauty
can.
brands,
Remember to use the
natural
promo code
aphrodisiacs,
SR for £5
processed
free
and dried
credit.
unprocessed
Medase.
food. Our
Tune
mission
in.
at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far.
Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 11:39, and it is the Friday edition of the morning show. You can text, you can share your take with us or your comments, whichever is appropriate. But let me put in announcement through. Now tomorrow exactly at 10 a.m. how to build your own wealth. BB Clement hosting of a webinar, a live webinar program will be taking place tomorrow, the 4th of December. So make a date with her, and she will be speaking on how to start a small business successfully. And then he's got other speakers in presence of Dr. Remy Banjoko, who will be speaking on developing passive income through stocks and shares. Now we have Bimbola Osaji, who's also been speaking on investing in property with very little money. And then the final one with the speaker Sandra Ramsey, who will be talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, what you need to know and how to profit from it. So make a date with her and the team tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay, you want any connection or any leads to that, just get in touch. But you can register at bbclement.com or events at Eventbrite, or call 0208 316 539. Let me take it again, 0208 316 5386, 0208 316 5386, and I tell you that it will change your life positively. All right then, so now let's move on to some of the other stories that we want to look at today, starting from home here in the UK, and some information that is just come through this morning. Okay, so an information that just come through this morning pertains to what the WHO is saying this morning. But Pfizer, okay, let me pick it again. Pfizer and Moderna has given gives best overall boost. That's what the trial is saying. Researchers say there are signs the booster will still offer protection against new variant Omicron. But the other time was asking the question, the mixture, you're going to take maybe Astra and now you want to go and take a booster of Pfizer. How is it all going to pan out for you? Well, at times that's the question that people do ask, and I'm asking that question as well. If I have to go and take that, how is it going to work for me? But well, you can ask the questions and the experts will tell you exactly. But the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines being used in the UK as boosters give the best overall boost response according to a UK trial of 7 different jabs. The trial is the first study of how well covered booster jabs work and justifies the UK's early decision to use these 2 vaccines for boosters. All the vaccine tested raised immunity against COVID to some degree. Now, researchers said there were promising signs the booster will still protect against illness and death from the Omicron. Now, to make vaccine supply go further, even a half dose of Pfizer could be used to boost population, they added. So instead of getting a full dose, they give you half dose to boost you a bit. We all share it, isn't it? Well, it's all Starr Radio UK. It says the trial results are thought to have prompted the UK to order an extra 114 million doses of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Now, boosters can cut the risk of infection by more than 93%. So we still got the 7% that, I rest my case. All right then. Now, remember Euro 2020? Well, when the football is coming home, and the football never came home, we went to Rome. Football went to Rome. Okay, now ticketless, drunken, and ragged up thugs could have caused death as they stormed Wembley before the Euro 2020 final, says a review into the disorder. The report by Baroness Louise Carsey said there was a collective failure in planning for the match, which about 2,000 people got into illegally. It noted 17 mass breaches of disabled access gate and emergency fire doors. Lady Carsey said the appalling scene of disorder as England played Italy led to a day of national shame. Her report said there was a collective failure in planning for the match on 11th of July, including a vulnerable stewarding operation lacking experience, partly because of the pandemic and the police deployment arriving too late. The knowledge that about 25,000 of Wembley 90,000 seats will be left empty because of the COVID restrictions contributed to a perfect storm of factors. Now, in a quote, she said, our team of role models were in our first major final for 55 years. However, they were let down by a horde of ticketless, drunken, and dragged up thugs who chose to abuse innocent, vulnerable, and disabled people, as well as police officers, volunteers, and Wembley staff, said Carsey. Now, what do you think should be done to them? Now, she goes on further to say, we are genuinely lucky that there was not much more serious injuries or worse, and need to take the toughest possible action against people who think a football match is somehow an excuse to behave like that. She goes on further, I am clear that the primary responsibility for what went wrong at Wembley that day lies with those who lost control of their own behavior, which I agree with her there. But those who are supposed to have put the necessary security apparatus in place to stop people from doing that, why didn't they also do so? But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:45. Remember, at 12 o'clock the lines will be open for you to add your voice on the discussions. At 12:30 we'll cross over to Kent, where our money man is to bring you the money hour. And at 1 o'clock we bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen. So please don't go away, stay tuned, and don't touch the dial. Okay, now moving on to one other story from the UK front before we bring the updates to a close. A couple of them. Now, Tories hold Old Bexley and Sidcup in by-election. The South-East London election was prompted by the death of former MP James Brokenshire. Okay, so well, Tories still held on to it, but with a reduced majority. Okay, now the army has been called in to help as thousands of people in the north of England remain without electricity a week after Storm Irwin struck. About 6,000 Northern Power Grid and 1,700 electricity northwest customers in Cumbria have no supply. My apologies. Now, Durham County Council said more than 100 personnel who would arrive in the county later. It said it asked for help because MP has been unable to confirm when supplies will be restored. The authority has declared a major incident with supplies to thousands of properties in area, including Teesdale and Weardale still off. Military personnel were drafted in to help the recovery efforts in northeast Scotland on Thursday. Now, speaking in the Commons, Westmoreland and Lansdale MP Tim Farron called for the army to also assist engineers in Cumbria. ENWL said earlier in the week the company had drafted in specialist power engineers from elsewhere in the country, but spokesperson Paul Beecham said he was not sure the army have the engineering capability to work on high voltage electricity networks. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Now, however, the more people we can have on the ground checking on everybody, that is something that is very welcome, he said. ENWL said it was hoping to restore all supplies by close of today. Well, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We'll take a quick break, we come back and we continue with updates from other parts or the stories that is making the rounds from other parts of the world. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly what? 10 minutes to 12. And it is the Friday edition of the morning show. And if you are logged in, you are logged to the right place, Star Radio UK. Now let's quickly have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds this morning here in other parts of the world. Now we review some of the stories making the rounds in the UK, but let's move on to other parts of the world now to see what is happening there as well. Okay. All right, now let's quickly move on. Now in the US, what's happening there? Yesterday, information has come through that the US have tightened its travel rules amid new Omicron cases. Now it says President Joe Biden has unveiled stricter COVID-19 travel rules. My apologies. My apologies. All right then. Now, from next week, international travelers to the US, including Americans, must take a COVID test no more than 1 day before travel, regardless of vaccination status. Let's take a quick break and I'll be with you. Stay tuned, please.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. My apologies for that. Yes, sneezed. Yes. But Well, we are back on. All right then. So, as I was saying, President Joe Biden has unveiled stricter COVID-19 travel rules as the U.S. confirmed a handful of cases of the Omicron variant from the coast to coast. Now, from next week, international travelers to the U.S., including Americans, must take a COVID test no more than 1 day before travel, regardless of vaccination status. Now, thus recently recovered may provide those recently recovered may provide proof of recovery documents instead. Now, mask requirements on planes, trains, and buses will be extended until mid-March. Now, millions of free and insurer-funded home tests will also be made available. 10 cases of the Omicron variant have been detected in the U.S. in California, Colorado, Minnesota, and New York, and in Hawaii, where authorities say that persons had no recent travel history. Now, state health officials have reported only mild symptoms in these cases. The variant had now been found up to 30 countries according to reports. It is still not clear whether Omicron, a highly mutated variant, is associated with more transmission or more risk of evading vaccines. The US is encouraging all adults to get booster vaccines amid warnings COVID cases will rise this winter. Now, it goes on to say, we're going to fight this variant with science and speed, not chaos and confusion, Mr. Biden said at the National Institute of Health in Maryland. He repeated earlier assurances that the plan doesn't include shutdowns or lockdowns. Over 40 million Americans have received their COVID booster, but nearly 100 million more are eligible and have not yet had theirs. The president has said hundreds of family vaccination clinics will be set up across the country in an attempt to increase vaccination rates among children and teenagers. Officials said private insurers will be obliged to reimburse their 150 million customers for at-home COVID tests they buy, and that 50 million tests will be distributed free to the uninsured through health centers and rural clinics. However, reimbursement for tests does not begin until January after holiday period, which sees increased travel and indoor mixing. That's coming your way from the US of A. It's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some other stories still in the US. Government shutdown has been averted hours before deadline. That's what the story is saying. The US Congress passed a bill to fund federal agencies until the 18th of February, avoiding a costly shutdown. So what's going to happen there? And right groups condemn Trump migrant policy return. Activists say restoring remain in Mexico at the border will result in torture, rape, and death. Well, would that happen? Or maybe they will see too that, well, that's peaceful and people are kept there and have a fair hearing from there as well. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell's case continues in court yesterday. Today it will be having, I don't know whether we're sitting today, but British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell tightly oversaw every detail in Jeffrey Epstein's Florida mansion, a former employee has alleged. At Miss Maxwell's trial, John Alesi said, as lady of the house, she ordered a tremendous number of rules, telling him not to look in the eye of Epstein. He also accused her of having two underage girls driven to the house. She has pleaded not guilty to 8 charges of sex trafficking and other crimes from 1994 to 2004. Miss Maxwell has been in a U.S. jail since her arrest last year and faces up to 80 years in prison if convicted. What is going to happen there? It's going to be an interesting one. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then. So moving on straight to other stories making the rounds this morning in other parts of the world. Moving straight to the Latin American area, Well. Argentina expert in charge in spying case is one of this news that is making the headlines there. And then moving on straight to Europe. Now, why currency crash does not worry Turkey Erdogan. Now, Turkey's national currency has plummeted 45% against the dollar this year. And what is going to happen there? It's going to cause people to fear. But Erdogan says, chill, man, chill. Don't worry about it. So what do you think there? Okay, Merkel's military farewell feature punk singers hit. A ceremony has been held for the German Chancellor, who is due to step down after 16 years in office. More coming your way. Russia wants a military confrontation nightmare. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Germany bars unvaccinated from much of public life. Oh my goodness. All right then. So let's start from the Turkey story. Now, Turkey's national currency has plummeted 45% against the dollar this year, and yet President Recep Tayyip Erdogan doesn't seem all that bothered. The lira has flirted with records flow this week, but Turkey's long-time leader is pressing ahead with his economic war of independence backed up by low interest rates. So why is Mr. Erdogan pushing a model that critics warn risks soaring inflation, higher unemployment and poverty, and what does it mean for Turks? The simple reason for the Turkish lira's collapse is his unorthodox economic policy of keeping interest rates low to boost Turkey's economic growth and export potential with a competitive currency. For many economists, if inflation goes up, you control it by raising interest rates. But Mr. Erdogan sees interest rates as an evil that make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Well, that is good for him. Will that policy work? That is interesting. If it does, that will be wonderful. Well, some other stories as well. Angela Merkel military ceremony has been held in honor of German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who is due to step down next week after 16 years in office. Ms. Merkel chose 3 pieces of music, one which raised a few eyebrows. She chose a popular song by Hildegard Neff, Call for Me, It Should Rain Red Roses. Okay, interesting. An 18th century hymn and a popular East German song by punk singer Nina Hagen. Well, she's been there for 16 years. Well done to her. Kudos to her. And we wish her all the best in her endeavors. Okay, in Russia, Lavrov warns of return to military confrontation nightmare. Why are they saying so? Now, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has warned that Europe could be returning to what he called the nightmare of military confrontation. At a European Security Conference in Sweden, Mr. Lavrov floated the idea of a new European Security Pact to try to stop NATO from expanding further east. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned of serious consequences if Russia sought conflict with Ukraine. The meeting comes as Russia boosts its military near Ukraine's border. Now, Ukraine says Russia has amassed more than 90,000 troops there. Now, Moscow denies it's preparing an attack on Ukraine and accuses Kiev of its own military build-up. As tensions rise, Russia said on Thursday it had arrested 3 suspected Ukrainian security services agents. Now, one of the 3 was accused of planning a terrorist attack, while the other 2 had been seeking to gather intelligence, Russia Federal Security Service has said. Well, we're living in uncharted territory now, and we don't know what is going to happen today or tomorrow, but it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 2 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me bring you one other story, and then we will go straight on to where? Africa, where in the next 28 minutes we'll be looking at some of the stories there. Now, ex-Afghan president, the Taliban said, the Taliban are my brothers. Well, he is the one who is encouraging the girl child to just decide to go to school, educate themselves. And I was saying that, well, where is he? He's living outside the country. Does he think that, well, when the girl child goes to school and the Taliban people come to throw them out and stuff like that, is he going to be there to see to their protection? The former president of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, has described the Taliban as his own brothers in an exclusive interview. I'll be bringing you more on that front sometime on Monday. So it is Starr Radio UK and the morning show. Let's move on straight to the African continent. Sudan military leader calls for UN support. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said he will cooperate with reinstated civilian prime minister. Well, so what kind of support is he looking for? Interesting. Let me see whether I can bring you a bit of detail on that. Story when it comes to Sudan. We remember that they overthrew the civilian, the prime minister. But Sudan's military leader calls for UN support. Sudan's military leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has called for the United Nations to support the transitional government. General Burhan on Thursday met the UN Special Representative to the country, Volker Perthes, who said on Twitter that despite welcoming the deal for a return to constitutional order, other critical steps need to follow without elaboration. General Burhan said he will cooperate with reinstated civilian Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok and support the transitional government he forms until elections are held. A coup led by the military leader in October led to the overthrow of the transitional government and the ousting of Mr. Hamdok. Mr. Hamdok was reinstated in November after signing a deal. Will that stop whatever is going on in there? Well, it's another question for another day. Chad junta leader Mamat Idris Deby Itno has moved to a higher rank in the military, from a lieutenant general to a general. Yeah, and he's going to get to a place where he's going to call himself a field marshal. Who does that remind you of? Idi Amin, field marshal Dada. He had all the ranks. Okay, so maybe that's what's going to happen there. Well, on Wednesday, the Chadian leader wore 5 stars on his uniform and beret as he arrived at the venue outside the presidential palace in a 5-star command car. He previously had 4 stars as a lieutenant general. Now, the presidency's head of protocol sent a press release on Thursday informing state institutions and the public of the changes. The junta leader came to power after the death of his father, Idris Deby Itno, in April. His father had been president since 1990. Only his father had the rank of a 5-star military general before his death. So what does that bring along? Okay, let me say good morning and good afternoon to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi. I hope you are doing very, very well, man of God. Coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 6 minutes past the top of the hour. We are still on the African continent. You want to join in the conversation, feel free to do so. We got about another 24 minutes for all our discussions. I have Kojo D who is joining in now. Now, before I put him on, let us read this story. Let me bring you this story, and then we'll put Kojo on, and he will tell you what his take are on various issues. But presidential candidates in Gambia ended their campaigns on Thursday ahead of Saturday's election. From the top of a track, Gambian President Adama Barrow, who is running for a second term in office, greeted thousands of supporters following him through the street of the capital, Banjul, to McCarthy Square, where he gave his final speech. Now, Barrow warned against complacency and called on Gambians to participate in the elections vote en masse on Saturday to guarantee a victory. A recent rapprochement between Barrow's National People's Party and the former governing party has cast doubt on the authorities' willingness to right the wrongs of the past in making sure justice is served for victims of the former president Yahya Jammeh. Barrow sought an alliance with Jammeh's former party in September, a move denounced by rights activists. So now I don't think he's going to go after Yahya Jammeh's people. No. He wanted power, he's got the power, and he's going to plant himself in there. But that is why I say good afternoon to you, Kojo.
Yeah, good afternoon, Arch. Yeah.
How are you? Yeah,
I'm good.
Great. I'm also prodding on.
Yeah, it's not very cold like yesterday, though. So, yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
Much better. Okay. First of all, before we go to, I wanted us to talk about this Gambia election that's going to take place tomorrow, and Captain Smart's case there as well in Ghana. I remember yesterday you touched briefly on that. But before then, if you have any other thing that you want to talk about before we continue, feel free. And listeners, you can call in as well. Over to you, Kojo.
All right, let's start with Captain Smart. I think it was almost like where predicted what was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
If you remember, I said, well, he's made his case about all these leaders being very, very silent. And I said, well, if they don't talk, if they talk, damn them. If they talk, damn them. If they don't talk,
damn them.
Some are, exactly. Some are accused of even being cronies of various political parties and politicians. So some are claim of not speaking for some parties. So what are they really going to do? They won't talk. And sometimes when they try to talk, the various ruling governments try to really dismantle them into pieces and let them look very, very bad with the public. So they don't really want to get involved. There were instances that some pastors, very well-known pastors, were paraded in various media. Let me put it bluntly, their voices were, what's that word popularly used in Ghana? They said their tapes were cloned. And their voices were doctored. And it was played to the public to show how impartial they are towards one party. Right. So they don't really want to get involved. But I think the other thing that really caught my eye yesterday, and we all agreed on it, was when he was talking about where are all the soldiers? Why can't there be an uprising to remove the current government? And I said, remember, both of us agreed that he shouldn't have
gone that far. He shouldn't have gone that far.
To make that statement calling for an uprising through a coup d'etat, which I think was an insurrection, if you put it that way. It could be similar to what we saw happening in America, where you're calling upon people to go remove people from office through the power of a gun. Which under the Ghana Crime Act is a crime to offer an insurrection, as would have even happened anywhere, even in the US, if somebody was being held responsible for doing that. How much more a private individual, if a former president. So we actually preempted what was going to happen, and shortly after those statements, he was arrested. Which I think some people go to on the air and they take it that they are sitting behind microphones and they are insulated from any kind of arrest because they might be media men, but it's really, really, really silly of them to do that, if I put it that way. Because we know the story of those other two guys who are Muntie what's his name? They nicknamed him after this Congolese leader.
What is his name? I forgot. Is it Mugabe?
Mugabe. I look at what happened to them. Frankly, when they got to court, they had to beg the courts. They had to whip and beg the court to let them go. So people who are now calling themselves broadcasters, right? They probably weren't trained in the like of journalism. So they got interested in broadcast journalism. And don't know much about broadcast journalism. Exactly.
I don't think they've even done press law to know what to say and what not to be saying.
Anything at all. And they make statements that are very, very, very unguided. They just go on and talk and talk and talk without thinking that what am I saying? Is it right? And I think it wasn't only the police who should be arrested him. The media commission, the National Media Commission, also should have a set of guidelines for all these operators.
But you know, the media house that he is working for or is with at the moment is saying that it's an example of intolerance in the Ghanaian media.
It is not really an intolerance in the Ghanaian media. It's not intolerance at all. I mean, if we come to the UK here, right? Ofcom, because of Ofcom rules, there are some things you cannot say on air. Although you can publish some things in a newspaper, but there are some things you can't say on air. As simple as that. Is against you. Your station could be shut down.
Immediately.
You know, so I don't know why he thinks that the rest of the media in Ghana is intolerant to some of the things he was saying. It's just like me going to stand in the center of town shouting for an insurrection against the government. I will be arrested. And that is the kind of approach he had. And he thinks he's being intimidated. He's not being intimidated in any way or any shape or any form. He's made utterances that have been judged as equal to insurrection. Yeah, that's what it is. So I think he probably will get a slap on the wrist. Even if it goes to court. But if he continues with the attitude that he's been displaying since his release, he might find it quite difficult. He might even be as a result, he could even be banned from broadcasting.
He's saying this one is gone on air once again, saying that he is prepared to remain vocal on critical issues of public importance to ensure leaders are kept on their toes. But the question is, how do they go about that on the right or in the right way? That is a problem that we have with them.
Yeah, the problem is, if you want leaders to remain, if you want to be critical of leaders, how do we become critical of leaders? Become critical of their policies. We should be attacking their policies. We shouldn't be calling for an uprising by the military through a coup d'etat. That is not being critical, right? If we on this station decide to take a critical view of the e-levy, we are being critical of government policy. We are not calling for citizenry to rise up and calling for soldiers to get ready to overthrow government. That's not what we are doing. We are being critical of government policy. If we decide to digest the budget in different ways, we will digest the budget in different ways. If we want to look at procurement systems, if we want to look at how contracts are awarded by different government departments, if we want to look at that, we are actually being critical of government policy. That is how it works, but not hauling abuse or calling for military to take over. The military, where are they? Where are the soldiers? They are not the solution to any of the problems, economic problems that the country faces. They are not.
When you look at the Ghana media landscape, I mean, you see, most of the radio stations, so I don't like listening. There are a couple of them that I listen to because I look at the objectiveness and how on board. Then I listen to them. But you have most of them. Going into a banter and you hear arguments, insults, and so you want to criticize somebody. You criticize constructive criticism. You are doing this. This is wrong. But we think that this is what you have to do. But we don't get that alternative. Proposal of what government has to do. So it makes it quite difficult there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think we all agree on that. That's exactly what it is quite very difficult because people think of some of these ones who are now into broadcast media, think that if they attack personalities, they are actually doing their work. If they are not doing their work, you are not helping the public. You are just attacking various individuals.
Yeah.
And that is the stance in which he took. That look, let me chop down all these individuals whom I perceive have a voice in society,
Yeah.
and are not using their voices. That is fine. You can criticize them for not using their voice.
Yeah.
But when you go a step further and calling on the military, because you're now telling the military that they are ineffective, they should remove a government that is not helping the people. You're calling for them to an uprising to remove a government that have been legitimately elected through the ballot box.
Yeah.
Even if they screw the votes in their favor by tampering with the voting system, they still have been elected. You can't call for them to be removed. I mean, does he want to see what is happening in other countries like Chad?
Maybe.
We've gone past that stage.
Yeah, yeah. We've gone far past that.
Exactly.
We don't
Some
want to
people
go
have
there.
been tried in court currently.
Yeah.
As plotters in the
Ghana.
nation of Ghana.
Yeah.
So, does he want that group of people also planting ideas into the heads of soldiers to go and take out the gun and go and remove someone? And we know the incident that also happened in Parliament where a Minister of State called for the military to come into Parliament to control lawmakers.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of system we want? Where everyone can just be calling on the soldiers I think he's gone a step too far. In my view, I think yesterday we even said that before he was even arrested. In our discussion, we said it, that he's gone a step far. That is not journalism. That is not broadcast journalism. It's nothing to do with media against him. I seriously think the National Media Commission should be able to set guidelines, and there should be a regular, education of its members. And there should be sanctions that can be placed on members who actually do not do what they are supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. We've got another 10 minutes to cross over to Kent where our money man is. But let's look at the Gambia situation. Now, President, what is his name? Yaya Jammeh was the former president, but the current president of Adama Barrow. Now he decided they went into a pact before to outwit Yaya Jammeh in an election. Now when they went to that pact, one of the agreement was that during the first tenure, I think when you go 2 years on or after the first, you will not stand for the presidential election. You will step down and let someone else from the other group also step in and vie for the election. However, during that time, he decided to just abrogate the agreement that they had, and now he's gone into bed with Yaya Jammeh's party.
That says a lot, isn't it? That says a lot about the way the country is working, and that says a lot about people still clinging on and hanging on to power. Although it is time for them to move on, and what he's done is he's become very divisive, if I put it that way. I mean, the only way he became president was when he secured a sort of a coalition with all other opposition parties. If that hadn't happened, Yaya Jammeh would have still been president by now. Probably.
If they had not gone into that coalition, he wouldn't have.
He wouldn't. And the pressure mounted by ECOWAS toward him ensure that ECOWAS said they are going to arrest him if he doesn't vacate the seat. He wasn't even with all that, he wasn't prepared to vacate the seat for Adama Barrow. Until ECOWAS placed a sanction on him and told him frankly that we will enter into the country militarily and that was coming from more from Senegal,
Yeah.
will enter the country and arrest you, and he could see that when he's arrested in Gambia and he ends up in Senegal, he was going to end up at the Hague, and
yeah.
where to tried
Yeah.
and in prison somewhere in the UK,
Yeah.
and had no chance of going anywhere. So he quickly flew a plane to where he knew he'd be safe. So going back and looking at that briefly, just giving that background to the story.
Yeah.
He's going into bed with somebody who wasn't prepared to, I mean, it just sounds to me a bit power grab. He is anxious to get back into the presidency, then still continue as a president, and he fears that the people he went into coalition with, they were actually not going to support his agenda or his dream of becoming president.
Yeah, because he's breached the agreement that they had already.
Exactly. So what would he want to do? He goes into bed with a man who said, I'm not going to get out of the presidency or from the bed for you to come and lie on the bed. So now the two of them become bedfellows. I mean, it's all power drunk. Why can't he just go away?
Oh, Africa. Oh, Africa.
Yeah, you go to bed with someone who is very divisive, and the person has been able to manipulate him. And you continue to manipulate him.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. What do you think about this election that's going to be taking place tomorrow in the Gambia? Hope that it's not skewed to his advantage, and that it's a free and fair election, which we know that there's no like a total free and fair election. There's a bit of
yeah, exactly, a bit of manipulation.
Yeah.
When the world says that Gambians are still voting with marbles, every country is still voting with marbles. So everybody is going to go and cast their vote as the marble become their identification. As to look at their ballot paper and
I throw this marble into the box for Yaya Jammeh. What is his name? Adam Abaro, and throw another one to that. But don't you think that maybe the ECOWAS could have come in to help them out? Because if something should go wrong, the cost to the ECOWAS itself is not going to be chicken feed.
Yeah. ECOWAS hasn't even got money. I mean, it's all the West African countries pulling their monies together.
Yeah.
But is that fair to the rest of the West African nations?
It's not. It's not.
I mean, it's not at all. So there should be a system where all these West African leaders, the people who are also changing their constitutions, and as a result, military coups are taking place. There should be a way to stop all these from happening.
Yeah.
And the body responsible, which is ECOWAS, isn't strong enough to stop it. They allow these people do. They still admit them as members of ECOWAS.
Well.
Listen, the only difference between them is that one person is using a gun and one person is using other means to bring them to power.
All stealing is stealing, whether you use a gun or you coerce the person into doing that.
Exactly.
Oh wow! Listen, that's already UK. Before we go to Kojo's final words, there's this story that I saw earlier on that I want to share with you, and I want your take on it. A 73-year-old Kenyan man has taken his son to court over a demand for monthly maintenance money. Now, the aged father, identified as Gideon Kisira, demanded that his 48-year-old son, Washington Chipkombe, give him 20% of his monthly income. Now, Gideon told the Kitale High Court that his son has abandoned him and refused to send him any money despite the fact that he is working. He went ahead to reveal that things were presently difficult for him and his wife, while also explaining that Washington is the only one employed out of his 4 children. I rest my case. Do you think that this young man, it's not a young man, 48, he's an old man with responsibility. I bet he's got children that he needs to see to. But the father said, I'm taking him to court. I'm going to take 20% of his salary. Should all parents do so?
If I already read the story, I read the story and I said, I mean, how is this going to work in court? When you get any agreement, because within a court of law, they are looking at the law. They are not looking at ethical behavior. So what it is an ethical behavior. This father decided he saw everything.
Yeah, sold his farm.
It goes to university, which we know is expensive in that part of the world.
Yeah.
In Africa, education is not cheap, you know. So, where sometimes you don't even have student loans and all that kind of thing. So, he sold all his property to ensure that his brilliant son gets a proper education.
Yeah.
But that is not a contract. So, before a law court, would they be looking at how ethically the son has behaved? The court cannot examine ethical behavior. They can only examine if it's embedded in a law or there's a contract. If there's no contract, there's no documentation are you going to make sure that somebody ethically parts with his money to the father? No. That is why in these parts of the world, people have pensions.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in that part of the world, people don't have pensions.
So the old man's pension is what he sold. He said even when he was going to get married, he had to sell some of his cows to pay a dowry for him.
Yeah, I think that is a tough one, and the son had let the father down. Yeah, I think he's let the whole family down. But that said, we might not even understand his situation at the moment.
That's it.
He could also have very difficult financial situation, and which meant that he couldn't part with the money he has. But looking at the other part of the story, it says that the son hasn't even visited him for 17 years. So suggests that there is a kind of a strained relationship. It is a kind of an estrangement. So the the son is estranged from the father. So but you can't really force. The court cannot force the son to give 20% of his income to support his family.
The father.
That would be a difficult prospect. Yeah.
Well, if you are listening to us and you have your parents, well, it's getting to the end of the year, it's getting to Christmas. Those of you celebrating Christmas, those of you, whatever, end of the year, whatever you celebrate, please don't forget your parents, please. I don't want them to take you to court. Please. All right then. In South London, Kojo D, Archie here in the studios of Starr Radio UK. Kojo, before we go, what have been your highlights? A quick one before we go to our money man.
Well, I'll just probably talk about yesterday was 8th day, isn't it?
Okay, the day before yesterday.
Yeah, the day before yesterday. Yeah. We missed it out. That was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So I sort of pick up a story coming from Ghana, where a pastor said 21 years ago, when he probably was told he was HIV positive, the whole attitude and the way it was broken to him was really destroyed him. Not only destroyed him, he had his own head pastor in his church. He was then a pastor in actually publicly announced his HIV to the whole
congregation. Jeez.
Yeah. And so with that in view, how do people deal with such issues? I mean, he's currently Ghana's HIV/AIDS ambassador. So he's come a long way, 21 years, and he's still, alive. He's still going strong, and he's still he His wife died a few years ago, but he is still going and doing what, speaking to various people in church. So I believe that people's attitude over time in some places have changed about AIDS and HIV and AIDS, but to a large extent in some countries it's still a stigma. So what do we do? I think I'll leave that space open for everybody to think through. When there are a number of medication now that we're told as soon as you get a diagnosis and you start the medication, you can live a good life. But the longer you live it, and the HIV status becomes AIDS, then you have
the full-blown AIDS.
You have a short lifespan. And recently, I read somewhere about a few months ago that the scientists are working at finding a complete cure to it.
They said they are at the verge of getting
have already had almost full cure. So I think the world is heading into a better direction. But I think in those days, once you get it, it's a life
sentence.
Pastors were preaching that the end is near because it was an incurable disease.
Now we got COVID.
But on another note, I also read on Wednesday, which was the 8th day, that HIV is on the increase again. So everybody out there, you must be on the lookout. But we must also be careful not to stigmatize people. So
All right, Kojo. Let me say thank you very much for this wonderful contribution to the program once again.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll catch up later.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Well, listeners, that was Kojo D from South London bringing you his take on issues that is making the rounds. Yes. We're going to continue with our money man. But remember, Monday will be coming your way with another edition of the morning show. But yes, over the weekend, there's going to be live church programs and others. But this afternoon, there will not be Roots of Africa because Mr. Frank Davids is out of town. And where he is, we're going to be looking at a few things on his way there. God willing, next week he will bring you a live feed from Ghana, where he is at the moment. So stay tuned, don't you go away. But it's now time for our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri. Stay tuned and listen. Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. That was question for you. The conversation goes on. We always tell you that after this program, the conversation goes on. You can still put your post or whatever you think on our Facebook page, or you can still tweet them or WhatsApp us or whatever you want to do. But continue to be talking and discussing issues pertaining to where you are in Nigeria, wherever. And we promise our Nigerian listeners as well that come next month, we are bringing you a program, a current affairs program that will be highlighting on Nigeria, their issues in there, and what more. But it is now time for our money man to come put some money in your pocket. And you know what? It's something that I'm very happy about, because in this day and age where everything is struggling, the expenses is higher than the income. So before the money even lands in your account, the money is gone, swallowed. Okay, now you have your bills and everything to pay, and at times we struggle with that. We don't know what to do. And today we have our money man in the house, and we are going to be looking at managing an effective household budget. So upon all that, how do I even manage that? We have our money man, and let me say good afternoon to you, Mr. Dan Tabiri.
Good afternoon to you, Archie.
How are you, sir?
Happy to be coming away again this afternoon.
Yes, we are glad to have you as well. Okay, so let's move on swiftly, because we know we've already chopped some of your time, but don't you worry. Today, sir, we're having a look at our household budgets.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
We have been looking over the past weeks to try and save ourselves some money. So we've been looking at some money-saving tips. As much as looking at what we are saving, it's important that we also need to look at what our goings look like, what's the profile, which will help us to be able to save some of that money. Along, as you mentioned before, you find that a lot of people you hear this often that, I don't know where the money's gone. Money comes in and it looks like the expenses is more than the income.
Yeah.
Well, if you find yourself in this situation, then definitely this is very relevant to you. You need to start doing some budgeting.
Okay.
If you feel that you are spending more than your income, then the budgeting is essential. So this is what we want to be looking at today, hopefully, in the next 15 minutes that we've got.
Okay, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So as we've already mentioned, it's important that anybody, in fact, looks at what the profile of their household spending is.
Okay.
And also their income. So we all know we have to do it, but sometimes we find it really difficult putting that into practice. Things become clearer when you put them on paper and you start to look at things. So for starters, what you would need to do is to look at what has already happened. So look at your past expenditure.
Past expenditure, okay.
Yeah, say for example, the last 3 months. Take your bank statement and go through it and analyze it. See what you've actually spent.
Okay.
So if you write down your main bills that you've got, for example, if you've got mortgage payments or you've got rent that you're paying, utilities, telephone, council tax, and what have you, groceries. So anything that you pay for, list them out. Do the last 3 months analysis so that you can have an idea the average amount of spend in your household for each month.
Okay.
After you've done that, you need to also do the same for your income. So whatever money or sources of income in that household for the last 3 months, analyze them, strike an average. Okay. Based on the income and the expenditure, you would have a fair idea of whether you're borrowing to survive or you have a surplus.
Okay.
Once you have this picture in mind, then you can start to put in place a budget. Okay, so starting point is to look at the expenditure and the income that has gone on in the past 3 months, so that it gives you a fair idea of how much your family or your household earns and spends on average in a month.
Okay.
Yeah. So the budget will start with let's start with, first of all, the income. You look at the average income. So for example, if your average income for the year, if you're on a salary, you know what your net take-home pay is.
Yeah.
There's no point looking at gross because the tax will be deducted before the money is given you. Yeah. So look at your net income. If you're on a PAYE or if you're an employee, look at your net salary. If you are self-employed, then you'll be looking at how much you're able to take out of your business. If you have other sources of income, for example, if you have maybe a property that you are renting, that you are earning income from, then you need to, also add that income. So all sorts of income for the month in that household needs to be taken into account.
Okay.
Yeah. If there are more than 2 people or more than one person earning income in that household, you have to collate all these incomes, because it's better looking at the household income than individual budget.
All right.
So you have an idea what your monthly income is, and then the expenses would be a lot more difficult. Again, you've looked at the last 3 months expenditure and then track an average, so you know for every item that you spend in your house, you know how much you would need to spend each month.
Okay.
So if, for example, your gas bill is, let's say, £60 a month, then you will now need to start. Obviously, you know it's £60. That is how much you have available to spend. If you go over £60, you know that you can't afford it. So then you know that you have to restrict yourself within £60 a month or lower. So
and just to interject there, how do you do that then?
Sorry,
how do you restrict yourself? I know that my gas bill for the month is £60. Yeah. Now I could see that now I'm going higher than that. Now I know that the providers are already increasing their prices. Maybe I've gone through all the what do you call, compare the market thing, and I know that this is the best one that I have. And still I'm going up. What do I do?
Yeah, I mean the important thing about doing this budget is it's supposed to be able to instigate a change and then cause you to start thinking more about your behaviors and how it's affecting your standard of living and your bills. Okay, so once you realize that you have a budget of £60, now you would have to start thinking of ways to reduce that bill. So, for example, if you were leaving your heating on for longer, you might want to start looking at maybe I can cut down on when I switch time that I switch my heating on. Perhaps I'm doing my washing at peak hours.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at different times. Maybe I've got economy 7, so maybe instead of washing during the day, I'll wash during
the night.
The little things like that is what is going to drive your cost down. But without putting something down on paper, doing a budget, it will be difficult for you to quantify the changes, the effect of the changes that you are making on your bills. Yes, so that's why this is very important. This is very critical.
All right, so go on, sir.
Yeah, so you have a budget for each of your expenses: telephone, gas, council tax, rent. There are some that are definitely fixed costs. They are outside of your control. You cannot, there's not enough room for you to navigate.
Okay.
So those are what you call fixed costs. For example, if you're paying rent, the rent is fixed.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that.
Time. You can't.
Maybe you can decide to sleep in the house 3 days.
The landlord will still take their rent. Council tax, for example, is fixed. You have no control. Once the local authority decides this is how much your rateable value is, and this is the tax that you have to pay, you can't do much about it. I'm more focused on the things that you can make a change in your lifestyle that can cut waste. Basically, cut waste for you to save some money. And if you start making small changes, you'll be surprised how much you can save.
Okay.
Sometimes things like our telephone bills, you might need to revisit if you're not on a fixed contract, or even if you're on a fixed contract. Look around, see what other deals are about. Without looking, you would not know. You'll be surprised what other people are offering. Even on the same network, sometimes they offer deals where they can match deals of other providers.
Yeah.
So if you're able to get these and approach your provider and say, okay, I've got this offer from somewhere, you either match it or I'm leaving, they are more than likely to want to retain your services, your patronage, and therefore they would reduce your bill for you. So little things like that. But without, the key thing here is without putting things down on paper in black and white, it will be difficult for you to see this picture that I'm trying to paint for you.
Yeah, I get you. Well, what you talked about like phone bills, where we have you as a father, and then the missus and the children, or a mother and the children, and now all the children, even those in the nursery, have mobile phones. Yeah, it looks like that. Now, how do you deal with such? Because you don't want your child to, be left out, and therefore you are sort of forced to get your child a mobile phone, and you know that it doesn't come cheap. It's not free.
Yeah.
And therefore you have to pay. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, the world we live in now is such that, you want to try and get, be in contact with your child at all times.
Yeah.
So that whenever she needs you, she can get in touch.
Yeah.
So all the children have mobile phones now. So when they are in school or they are leaving, they're out of your sight. You can keep in touch with them and know what they are doing at any time. But as you've mentioned, it comes at a cost, and sometimes at a very great cost. The good thing is that most of the telephone companies have packages that are suitable for children. Because if you give a child a phone with unlimited credit in terms of data and calls and all that, if you're not careful, they will bankrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
So the phone companies have packages that are suitable for children.
Okay.
And they give them a set or some amount of data that is free that they can use. And I want to believe that there are parental controls on this as well.
Okay.
And they are much cheaper because they are being used by children. You have to find out. There's lots of information out there on packages available. I would recommend people to visit the which website.
Okay.
And before you make any purchase or make any contract, look at what's out there, which has various comparative tools that can compare, do a quick search of the market for you, and then based on that, it will help you to make an informed decision.
Okay.
So let's use the resources out there.
Go on, sir.
Yeah. So once you have your budget of what your income is, how much constraint you've got in terms of how much you've got to spend. If you have a focus of maybe saving some money as well for the future, that has to be implemented, included in the budget. And it's a matter of making sure that you stick to this budget, going forward. If you stick to that budget, then there is no chance of you spending more than you're bringing in, and therefore getting yourself into any kind of debt or having to fall on credit cards to survive or to pay your bills.
But what would you say about people who find themselves already in this hole? They find themselves in this hole, and like you're saying, you don't want to be using credit cards, and that's rather whilst in the hole, try to dig deeper. You're going deeper and deeper and deeper. What we know a few of them who at times go to these loan sharks to go get some loan because they will need to fix something ASAP, and it ends up very bad for them. What would you say about that?
Well, at all costs, if possible, they would have to avoid high cost debt. Anytime if you have to borrow money, always think about the implications on how much is that loan costing you.
Yeah.
If you definitely need to borrow that money to sort something out that you cannot do without, then you'd have to look at what options you've got in terms of borrowing that is cheaper. Because once you lay yourself into that debt, it will be difficult to come out. And then you need to know exactly how you're going to be able to pay for that. So it's not enough just taking on the debt, but you have to plan for how you're going to make a repayment of it.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then it becomes a problem for you. Because the longer the debt stays with you, remember, the more expensive it will become in terms of the interest cost and the charges on top.
Wow.
So if you can, being debt free is the best way to go. We looked a few weeks back at the cost of borrowing.
Yeah.
We looked at credit cards and we compared it with other forms of borrowing like overdraft and things like that.
Yeah.
If your credit is good and you can get a good overdraft, then by all means go for that rather than a credit card.
Okay. So you recommend that a good overdraft will be better than going for a credit card or going to loan sharks?
The interest on overdrafts are quite low compared to credit cards.
Okay. Mr. Tabiri, I know that your time is up, but if you can run up, please.
Yeah, so I know that doing a budget is not very easy for the layman. If you require any help to start constructing a household budget for yourself, I'm very happy to help you. You can reach me on my telephone number 079-6124-8834, 079-6124-8834, and my email address is dan@GIL Accountancy Services, dan@GILAccountancyServices.com.
Okay. Mr. Tabiri, thank you very much. But I hope that next week, I think we will have to, because there are a few questions that people want to be asking. We'll try to collate all of them, and then God willing, next week when we meet, I think we'll try to bring it your way for you to see if you can address, because some of them are asking now if they know that for sure. The income does not, match the expenditure in any way. So virtually they are ground negative.
And next week we'll be asking him from accountant's point of view. The manifesto that has been presented.
Okay.
Which one will best help a businessman, a self-employed, an employee, or someone about
this
starting
is Starr
a business?
Radio UK.
Out of those budget, the tax elements being proposed, the angle, the deductions, the takeaway, what will best work for if I'm a self-employed, so that I know how to vote?
Yes. It's important.
It's important.